Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, tonight, let's talk about the Bitcoin dump. Is it over? What did Fed Chair Powell say? Was it good? Not so good? So, should Bitcoin start turning around soon? What is Asia going to do? Let's talk about all these things and more. And tonight is DCA night. So, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Unfortunately, Bitcoin during the FOMC meeting did rally up to about 59.4 and then came back down, then went up again, and now it's back down. It almost seems like when Hong Kong or Asia opens, it starts dumping down again, which is weird because they're buying. But anyways, what happened today? Anything important that we should know? Well, I did stream with you guys. I kind of covered it. Powell said his usual things, and it was actually pretty good. I would say it's a pretty dovish press conference and dovish answers, which he basically states, okay, even though GDP is not so good, we have other economic data that shows that the economy is strong. The labor force is strong. Inflation, even though still elevated, has come down drastically within 1 year. So he's not ruling out rate cuts, and he completely shut down the idea of rate hikes, even though some kept questioning him over and over again, right? So bottom line is what he said was pretty good. Basically, there's no cut this time around, but doesn't mean that next month there won't be a cut, right? So I'd say overall it was pretty darn good. So I actually don't quite understand why Bitcoin didn't rally more from today's news. I kind of do and kind of don't. Here's the reason why I kind of do. Why Bitcoin didn't go up anymore was because you still have massive selling. Okay, this is the reason. Because unfortunately, Grayscale and others decided to sell. Today, Grayscale itself sold $167 million. Okay, so the Grayscale onslaught continues. And some of the other funds also started selling, right? That's why Bitcoin could not rally up more from here. Unfortunately, I just don't know why Grayscale continues to sell 100 million plus every single day. At some point, you figure it would dry up, right? It would stop. But right now, it just seems like there's endless selling from Grayscale. But one day it will stop. And we will turn around, right? And that's why even someone like Cathie Wood, who some have called crazy, is now saying by 2030, which is only 6 years, so that's a cycle after this one, Bitcoin could be worth, get ready for this, $3.8 million each. Okay. So what does that mean? That means she wasn't bullish enough. She thought that, hey, even if a small portion of all institutions, a small portion of their treasury is dedicated to Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin could be at what, 1 point something. Her original thing was 1.5 million. Okay, now she thinks she's off by 2.3 billion. She thinks Bitcoin will be $3.8 billion by 2030. All it takes is all the institutions out there to put 5% of their BTC, 5% of their treasury into BTC. That's all it takes for Bitcoin to go up to $3.8 million. So, of course, she is a Bitcoin bull, just like Michael Saylor. I bet if you ask Michael Saylor, he wouldn't disagree. Because all the Bitcoin bulls know what's going on, right? If you truly understand Bitcoin, you truly understand our economies, fiat, our system, inflation, you put it all together, there's only one logical choice, and that is Bitcoin going higher. So that did not change. And right now, VanEck estimates only about 175 billion is in Countries, ETFs, and companies, right? So 175 billion sounds like a lot, but that's actually quite small. But once this number hits trillions, that's when Cathie Wood will be right, when Bitcoin goes up to $1 million plus, right? But right now, still very, very little, and it shows you how early we are. Okay. Outside of that, what else is there? Tether. Tether reports record 4.5 billion in profit. Tether is basically unstoppable right now. I would say they're probably the most profitable crypto company in existence right now. Okay. And why this is important is because, first of all the FUD around Tether and VanEck and iFinex, I think that could all go away because they have plenty of cash. Their reserves is 100% backed, which is good. Second of all, why this is good is because they take a portion of their profits every quarter and they buy Bitcoin with it. In fact, Tether is already the 7th largest holder of Bitcoin in existence at 4.4 billion. They did not buy yet, but they will. They will be buying. So if you look at 4.5 billion, I think they put 15% of that into Bitcoin. So if you do 15% of 4.5 billion, you're talking about like what, 600 million? Is that right? Yeah, something like that. 600 million, or yeah, 600 million. They're going to be buying that much soon and putting it into their treasury. So Tether, whether you like them or not, you know, they are just a beast. Every chain, every wallet, every exchange supports Tether, right? And I guess this is really, really good because they're another example of another company that's fully embracing Bitcoin, right? Well, not fully embracing Bitcoin, but helping contribute to Bitcoin scarcity. Let's put it that way. What else is there? Well, you know, some more ETF stuff, even though in the US we have Grayscale selling. In Hong Kong, we just opened Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETFs. And some are disappointed by the results, thinking it's lackluster, right? But here's the interesting thing. Look at when the ETFs launched in the US, Bitcoin was near 50,000 and actually dropped immediately down to 38,000. And I totally forgot about it, but now that I think about it, yeah, that did happen, right? I remember when the ETFs came out, people turned really bearish because they were like, well, why isn't Bitcoin going up, right? I thought you said ETFs would go add so much volume and so much buying. Immediately right afterwards, it didn't go up, right? So it's kind of curious that Hong Kong came out their ETFs and the same thing happened. But does that mean the same thing is going to repeat, meaning we will get that rally upwards and start forming a new high heading to $100,000? It's not out of the realm of possibility, okay? Because we have seen this before. We have seen major corrections, dips before. And what happens after these dips? Bitcoin starts skyrocketing. Here's another example, okay? Back in 2021, Bitcoin was on a tear. Shot up to $42,000 all the way from what, $4,000? It went up 10x. And then what happened? Well, then it took a breather. It went from $40,000 all the way down to $29,000. And then what happened? Bitcoin came back up and started going and formed a new high. Looks very similar, right? We shot up to a new high of 73,000. And yes, we started coming down a little bit. Again, we have seen this story before. This is not new. It happens all the time. I've covered this many, many, many times, right? And here's another thing. The Wyckoff distribution, which is basically a way for the big boys to scare out the little people and buy some more, okay? And hey, I guess if you're looking at Bitcoin's pattern, it does look very, very similar, right? So bottom line is this. We have seen this story before, okay? Do not be scared out of the market. It kind of sucks, yes, but the best way to look at it is this is a buying opportunity. We went back in time, okay, by about a month. And it's not even going back in time 2 years or something. Well, about a month or maybe 2 months, okay? Things have reset. So now you're able to buy again cheaper. And that's what I'm going to do in my DCA portfolio. And what's interesting is some people have noted in the live chat that Bitcoin dominance may be going down, okay? And that is something people are looking at. If Bitcoin dominance starts going down, what does that mean? That means alt dominance is going up. In fact, tonight or today, you could argue that the alts have done much better than Bitcoin. For example, you look at Bitcoin down about 5%, but someone like Solana actually came back up about 3%, right? And then you have XRP even up 3%, and Cardano, and Avalanche, and Polkadot, and Matic. They flipped around from yesterday. They're in the green, while Bitcoin is still in the red, right? So maybe there's something to it. I don't think this is altcoin season, though. It would be silly to think that this is altcoin season, but it could be a mini breather where Bitcoin consolidates a little bit, goes sideways for maybe several months until it's ready to shoot up, and maybe, you know, you have a mini spurt with the alt. Maybe. It's a little bit too early to tell, but today we have signs. All right. So that brings me to my DCA portfolio. Even though this week and last week has not been good. Okay, I signed out here. Let me sign back in. Hold on. Even though this week and last week not good, and the week before that was not good, but all time still up 50%. Okay. I know this was as high as like 100%, but here's the thing, you know, DCA long-term works. Some of you guys remember, look at this. Look at this, okay? I mean, it was down to 5,000 before, and then boom, 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 boom. Even though it peaked out around here and we're down, it's going to come back up. Nothing goes up forever. That's why it's a good buying opportunity right now to DCA. So, okay, 100 bucks this week. Last week I made up for like 3 weeks. So let's see what's down today. For the most part, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, they're all up. Cardano is lagging big time. Okay, down 27% all time. VeChain barely down 3%. Polygon lagging big time, down 32%. Cosmos also down, Sui, Arbitrum down, Say down, Celestia, Render, what is this, Arweave, Pith, and then some of these are down. ApeCoin down 93%. I don't think ApeCoin is ever coming back, guys. WIF is still up, okay, and some DePIN plays over here. Kulo's down, DeFi Kingdoms is down, Flow is down. What to DCA today? Well, you know what? When in doubt, you can always go with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is already... No, it's actually not 50%. It's a little bit lower because others have come up. Man, I'm not adding any more to Cardano. Polygon is also kind of weak. Cosmos kind of weak. Sui kind of weak. Arbitrum kind of weak. Optimism actually still doing okay. Cock is still doing well. Sneck is still doing well. Render kind of weak. DePIN play. Celestia has turned weak. Pith, I think I bought last week. And Flux is a little weak. Hedera. You know what? Let's look through. Okay, let's sort by 7 days. The biggest losers. Okay. Pindle, Stacks, Core, Akash. Man, those are like those are some good projects there. Hedera, Pith, Floki, Doge, Arweave. Like Fetch is down 14% this last week. Celestia Say down. Jupiter down 13. I actually really like Jupiter's. Even Solana's down 12% this week. Maybe Stacks. Do I have Stacks? I don't have Stacks? Yeah, I do. What am I talking about? Okay, but Stacks is, I'm still up 99% with Stacks. Pith. I mean, Pith had a horrible week. Maybe they could be a good candidate. And I have some of them. Maybe Fetch also. AI got a little weak. Or I could always just go with like Jupiter. Jupiter's still up. This is tough, guys. It's really tough. I don't know if I should go by the week or my all-time, right? Because Stacks, I think Stacks would be a good pickup, but I'm still up so much on it. Near is barely green. Chainlink is barely green. You know, and look at Fetch. Even though Fetch is down so much, I'm still up 477% on Fetch. So one of my greatest gainers in the portfolio. You know what? I might just add to both. I think they're both good play. One is AI play. One is layer 2 play for Bitcoin. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add Stacks and Fetch AI. So go be $50 into each. Okay, and then Fetch. Let's add a transaction. $50. Okay, so added Fetch AI and Stacks this week, even though they're already doing fantastic, but does not matter. I will continue DCA every Wednesday with you guys and prove to you guys by the end of this cycle, this portfolio will be in the 6-figure range, okay? And all it takes is just $100 every single Wednesday. All right, let's do some Q&A. I'm gonna keep Q&A nice and short tonight. I'm losing my voice, so this is my third stream for today. Little too much. Jose said sell ADA. 100 leverage on Kakinu. I will say this. You know, I've been saying leverage has been really hard, right? So I actually made a good amount back this morning. You know, this afternoon when I was, I was joking like, oh, I'm going to throw some longs. And I was not joking and I did it. So I made back some of my losses. I have not made back all of it yet, but it's been tough. It's been really brutally tough. So I guess just be careful. Bitcoin's next move, leg up or leg down? I honestly think, okay, we have a pretty good solid support here. Now, I don't know how good because it's just been, since this morning, right? But I could definitely see If Bitcoin forms a good solid base here, we can bounce from here. Now, if it doesn't, what's going to happen is Bitcoin is going to fall down to this line. This is why everyone is calling 52, because if you're looking at this trend line here, it would make sense. Bitcoin does this and then falls down, right? And that would be right around the 52 mark. And also that was a previous resistance. So you have two scenarios. One is Bitcoin continues its downward fall down to about 52 and bounce off here and goes upwards. Or two, it kind of hovers here and starts slowly trending upwards, right? One of the two scenarios. But, you know, overall, to be honest, even if we come back up, we'll probably go hover here a little bit until somewhere like past here, like August, September timeframe. Then Bitcoin probably will shoot up like previous cycles. But right now, short term, it may do something like this, right? Like that. Or it just comes up and does this. Keep in mind, Blair. These ETFs, they don't necessarily control it. They have to do what the public does, right? So if you have a whole bunch of institutions selling BlackRock ETFs, guess what's going to happen, right? They're forced to sell Bitcoin. That's just how it works. It's the same thing with Grayscale. Even though I always refer to why does Grayscale keep selling, Grayscale themselves and their parent company and sister companies definitely did sell a lot because they need to pay bills. But there are a lot of institutions and big investors that got in Grayscale early that are still selling too, right? So just there's a distinction, I guess. Okay. Han asks, yo, Proppy and AMP, not a fan of either one. Can you see Sol under 100? Even if Bitcoin fell to 52, then yes, it'll be under 100. But if it doesn't, I don't think so. J Oasis gifted 1 membership. Thank you. I don't know. There's a good chance that we just bounce off of here. This has been a good local support here. We held over here and bounced off here a couple times. If we go down, you know, we bounce off to 56.6, 56.7, we'll still be in good shape. The question is, can we hold there? Velodrome versus Aerodrome. I know they're on the same team. Thoughts? Just because they're on base doesn't mean they're really on the same team, right? You know, there are a lot of projects on Solana. Doesn't mean they're on the same team. Aerodrome is the biggest DEX. Velodrome is what? They're not a DEX, are they? They're on Optimism. Oh, so there may be... Okay. So they're... Maybe they are. Okay, I was thinking about something else. So basically, one is on base, one is on Optimism. Austin, we need you right now. G, is DGen okay? Selling off, I don't know. I never got into DGen. Took advantage of BTC sell twice today. Good for you. Charlie, message retracted. This isn't a wife change your wealth I was promised. First of all, you need to have patience. And second of all, you need to have patience. All right, I'm going to conclude because I'm feeling a little tired here. I'm losing my voice. Overall, guys, stay strong. Stay focused. There will be better days. Today, we actually got a pretty good press conference from Powell, right? we'll see if Bitcoin can hold at our current level, which is right around this 56.6 mark. If we can and recover back up, it's going to look good. So we'll tune in tomorrow and see. 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Have a good night. Take care.